order for Public Works. Today's February 25th. First item on the agenda is to consider the committee meeting minutes of January 7th.
Move for approval.
So motion to approve and a second. Any other comments, questions? Not all in favor, vote aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Next item is the Stone Storm Pond improvement. And you have an issue sheet about that as well. I don't know which of you wants to take it. Have we taken out the notion of a road?
Still considering
Okay.
just an access road. After going back and forth with FEMA, they said if we do a full-fledged road with gravel and excavate it down and put sand, that we'd have to go through a full-fledged environmental impact study, which could be, $20,000-$30,000, and we just felt that wasn't necessary at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So we've changed the scope of the project just to remove the trees that are needed to gain access from Grandview Drive, and it's approximately 650 feet from the road into where the structure ends and where the washout is.
Okay.
So we just like to, just so the committee's clear that with FEMA and these projects that we have 18 months from the time of the storm to complete this. We can request a extension, a lot more paperwork and things like that. So I'd like to, this is probably, other than the Lake Malibu washout, probably our biggest project. Okay. I've already contacted some tree service just to get a rough estimate on the tree removal. And if we do remove the trees, we're just going to cut them flush with the ground. And FEMA is saying that we probably won't need to get an impact study with that. So still waiting to hear back from that. But I'd kind of like to, keep moving forward with some of these projects. It's something I think it's just a repair project, and I think at this time we can probably bid out the tree removal and then just the repairs on this one.
So is there any part of this project that we can use storm water utility fund dollars for?
I would say we're going to have to probably, if we take this, if the committee recommends taking this to the finance or to the common council, that we could recommend looking into the stormwater utility for some of the extra funds. Okay. FEMA said that in their one document that they felt that they could participate with about $13,650.
Okay.
I'm saying it's going to be closer to 20,000, just an estimate. With if we do the road and get a contractor in there, and material and repairs might be a little less than that. But
so you're saying that the cost for the project would be closer to 20, or their contribution would be closer?
No,
to 20?
I think the total project is going to be 20 to 25,000.
Okay.
If we do it kind of in-house and just do it as a repair.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to proceed with the project and getting quotes with the understanding that the project will be largely funded by FEMA to the tune of $13,650, and that the remaining funds come from the Stormwater Utility Fund.
I'll second that. Can I ask a question though? So the $13,650, is that regardless of how it gets done? You're basically saying we're going to do it in-house as a repair, almost as if there's a bigger, grandiose way to do it. Are they giving $13,650 no matter how we do it?
Yeah, they kind of they go in there and they said that if we would go down the stormwater easements through the backyards of the people on Stone Pine Circle, But we'd have to remove fences, we'd be going through backyards. It doesn't make sense to me to disturb all those people's established lawns and everything, so.
No, I'm a fan of the way that you're proposing anyway. And I haven't worked with FEMA at all on this, so I don't know how they operate, but I was just trying to figure out if 13,650, that's their offer. Anything you want to spend above it,
They go
their
and.
contribution isn't going to grow at all. That's it.
And the other thing is that when we do, and we have like 7 or 8 different storm ponds that are damaged. And I think for the most part, we can do those in-house, but they give us kind of they look at it and say so many cubic feet or cubic yards of riprap was displaced, so many feet of soil was removed. It's going to take X number of dollars that they'll put toward it. Seems to me it's generally on the low side to me. So, but anyway, once we're going to have to track everything, that time and materials we spend in it, spend for that project, and we'll have a project code for each area. But this is the biggest one, so I'd like to kind of get moving on it.
Well, especially if we're up against an 18-month calendar, even though
It started last
they take a
June
while.
21st,
Right.
so.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion and a second on the table. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is the 2013 Dutch Elm Report, which you have in front of you. And you have the issue sheet.
Did you guys get a copy of the report or not?
No, I just did the issue sheet.
Okay.
The report's just,
Chuck Perlock does the survey. I think he only did a couple days. There weren't a lot of trees from elm trees that died from Dutch elm last year. He marked, and we had 15 removed within the city. I think the storm consumed a lot of his time, and I don't think there was a lot of trees, so elm trees. So.
And these go beyond the boulevard, right? I mean,
Even-
they can be,
Even these could be even private trees.
okay.
in fact, half of them were private and half were city.
Okay.
So,
Is 15 down from
Oh,
the year
yeah.
before?
Oh, boy.
yeah.
We used to do hundreds. I mean, there's times when I think I'd mark 700 a year. I think if you look in the report, do you have the yearly?
I do, but I don't have it with me.
Okay.
If you're interested, I can.
So, yeah, 15 is on the low side, but the number of elm trees have diminished, and I think because of they're spread out more, that I don't think the disease is prevalent as it used to be.
It's kind of a stupid question, but does the Japanese elm get Dutch elm?
No,
Okay.
just American elms. And actually, we've been planting some disease-resistant elm trees, which are very hardy. So we're trying to reintroduce the trees, some of the elm trees.
To replace the ash.
That's another thing, yeah.
It's not on the agenda.
No.
Different
Just saying
disease. Yeah. Okay. So is there a motion to place the report on file?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Thanks for the report. All in favor, vote aye.
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 And the next item is a request for additional funding for the streetlight, meter socket, and cabinet installation project.
So moving a little closer with our streetlight project, we've decided to break up the project a little bit, and we bid out the electrical cabinet so the city actually purchased the cabinet that needed to be replaced up by Wendy's. I tried to get quotes from several vendors, and we purchased it, and it's a cabinet that has all the components already inside, the circuit breakers and the Meter sockets already installed. So we purchased that, and that was a little under $4,000. We bid out the installation of the meter sockets for 7 other cabinets. B&B Electric got that bid for little over $6,000. We had allocated $10,000 for the project, and the other part that we need to get is the meter sockets. We're going to go through Gray Bar. They're a U.S. community where everything's already bid out, and we can probably get the best. We'll get the best price for the meter sockets through those. So we kind of split it up so we could kind of cut the middle guy out of the project a little bit. So we only had $10,000 allocated. Looks like we're going to have to, probably be $1,000 to $1,500 short. We still need to purchase the meter sockets. There is in that total project, I think, close to, was it $280,500. So I'd request if we could take $1,500 from that other money that we have set aside to complete this project.
Okay.
And I think I maybe brought this up at one of our last meetings. When I met with Xcel Energy and we did our survey for the street lights, we came up with a comparison of the flat rate charge that we're currently on with these 7 electrical boxes. So we found that there was 87 lights that are currently on that are metered, and they took the yearly electrical usage for those 87 lights, and then they compared that with the actual usage. This 87 lights are the actual metered rate, and they compared that with the non-metered rate, and yearly savings is $3,135. So this will take a little over 3 years payback on this portion. And then in the big picture, now once these are installed, now we'll have control of our LED lights when we go ahead with our big project, and we can start that up soon and kind of get a plan on getting those installed or purchased, or whatever route you guys wish to take on that. I think we talked about maybe doing smaller portions first to see how it worked out or how they looked, and so we'll probably get some people maybe in here from Xcel or from some lighting companies. Maybe we should have a little demo, or some lighting experts.
Sure. So it looks like, the costs for this particular project, $39.75, $60.55, and $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
And so it looks like so that comes up to $11,530. And you're saying we have $10,000 set aside. We're is it $98.40?
Well, we only have $98.40 left, yeah.
So we're short $1,690. So I mean, we should probably say $1,700 just to cover it.
Sure.
And so that's going to come from the $280.
If you guys, if the committee recommends it or would approve it.
I'll make a motion to transfer $1,700 from the LED streetlight improvement project to fund this project.
I'll second that. Any other questions? When do you think we might be able to get a demonstration? Or someone in?
For the LED lights?
How about should I see if we can have someone in next meeting? I know there's a Xcel guy from the cities that's doing some projects over in the cities, and
When is the next one?
Well, it'll be the end of March. Okay, maybe the 25th? March? That'd be great.
And then on this particular project, the streetlights, XL is going to make us run the power on the outside of the cabinet to the meter socket. So we might have to wait till the ground thaws out.
Okay.
So it'll probably be April before we get this completed.
Wishful thinking.
That's optimistic.
Oh, yeah.
Ours is 7 feet now. It's a frost.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, vote aye.
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 And the motion carries. Any other items for, well, let's see, we need a project update,
No,
right?
we added one, on that mosquito thing. I sent
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah,
out. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So discussion and possible action for the mosquito control contract between La Crosse County Health Department and the City of Hudson.
So, there's a storm pond in the Grandview Park up by the middle school that we've had mosquito issues for several years. I contacted the Department of Health. I was directed to contact these guys, and they came up the first year and basically did it for, gratis. They just did it for the first year, and then we kept having more problems, and then they said, well, let's just get it on a yearly basis so they can control the mosquitoes up in that area.
Tell me what land, where is it again?
So if you take by the middle school in Grandview Park, there's a school forest and there's a storm pond.
Whose storm pond is it?
The
Ours?
city's storm pond.
But the school uses that area,
Mhm.
right, for their,
Yeah, and even the neighbors, next to the pond we had some complaints from them, and then the school, and
so why the La Crosse County Health Department?
that's who I contacted, and they came up the first year and they checked for different types of mosquitoes.
Is it because of the La Crosse encephalitis deal? I mean, that mosquitoes carry. Is there any connection to?
I'm not sure. I know there's different types of mosquitoes. This guy will talk your ear off, but anyway, that's who I contacted. They came up and they helped us out for a couple of years, and they said, if you'd like to have a service every year, we'd come up and treat them once or twice. So
It's puzzling to me. I don't get the.
Yeah, because it's not a private company. This is another government entity, or?
it was a Department of Health is what I thought, but
For the La Crosse County?
this is, the statement or the letterhead says La Crosse, County of La Crosse, Wisconsin.
I find it puzzling, but I mean, there's a long history.
I mean,
of-
they must be considered professionals in mosquito mitigation, or
Would you
not
like,
questioning you, Tom, just find to be a strange contact.
We haven't had a contract with them either. I mean, it's like they've just come up and we get a bill and so,
But I mean,
this is all new for a contract.
$750 for one pond? Is that how much it was?
It's 800, I think, or so. No, it's probably,
$830, it's for vector control manager, services of mosquito control monitors, mileage.
In our last claims on finance, we just paid La Crosse $750. Was that for last year? Why such a delay?
that's why I said, hey, we can't have the delays, so then we got this, so.
If you would like to, see if I can get other quotes, that's certainly fine.
yeah, I'd be curious. It just seems like there should be someone other than and I thought that Neil had even said there's some restrictions as far as our ability to contract with other governmental agencies on road work and.
Yeah, and road work.
And it's one pond they treat amongst all the ones we have.
It's the only one that we got complaints on.
Really?
Do we have any reason to believe it's any different there than other ponds in town, like back behind Christian Community Home, or?
You would think that if there was an issue that we'd hear about, you know what I mean? And there's ponds behind Menards, there's ponds behind
So
A lot of different developments, actually.
they just happen to be,
But this is the one that we get the most complaints on.
And so they do data collection too? I mean, do they do
Yeah,
sampling and so they
believe
let
it.
us know if
Yeah.
there's mosquitoes that are carrying that? They
Yep,
do refer to the encephalitis.
So it's not like a lawn service where you go cut the grass, like they come on, throw something in the pond and leave. They actually are doing it.
yeah, and I think they did a lot of studies and,
Do they let us know, if they're finding mosquitoes carrying that?
generally, he called and he said, he named the different varieties of mosquitoes that they had, and it wasn't
Garden variety?
the West Nile one, but it was the ones that are really aggressive. He knew his mosquitoes, but I'd be glad to check into see if we can get other services or get another quote, so.
Yeah, I mean, if they're providing a service that someone else can't, and we're getting information from them, and, that's a different
Absolutely.
thing. Yeah, then it might be worthwhile, but,
We just wanted to bring it forward to the committee and let you know that, it's an area that we, have received a lot of complaints, and
okay,
I'd hate to have someone get sick or,
right,
and we knew about it and we didn't do anything about it, so.
okay. All right, any other updates, Tom?
Just wanted to update on the snow dilemma.
What snow? Snow?
Devin just gave me a printout of where we're at as far as the budget. Maybe we should probably put it on the next finance meeting so the council knows kind of where we're at. These numbers are as of 2/7, so they do not include this last pay
it's gonna go
request.
negative, I'm sure.
So the annual budget is 132,000. As of 2/7, we're at 99,400 with a balance of 32,500 left in labor. Chemicals were about 50% if we can get them. No, we can still purchase some. I did buy some from North Hudson the other last week. They don't need all of theirs, so.
Yeah,
Just want to let you know where we're at. We have scheduled change the shifts so that, the crew works from 3 in the morning till 11:30. If they don't have any breakdowns or equipment issues, usually I've been sending them home after 8 hours. When it does snow, they have to work to finish the plowing, so.
Can we start working on, and I know you guys have done a great job through this winter and, being somewhat shorthanded. I think the corner sight lines now need to be knocked down, and if businesses could knock them down from their plow jobs, people who are doing their plowing, you can come out the corners. Freedom and Plaza right now is a perfect example. You have to scoot your car out to look around. We got to knock some sight lines down.
So I know last night they cleaned up half of downtown. The other problem is that we did haul some snow out to Grandview Park. The far parking lot is full. So now we're going south of town to our other site. So it takes a little bit longer. So I guess our plan was to first get the downtown area cleared up. The parking lots, I don't know if you've seen the city hall and the fire hall parking lot would be the next priority. Then we'd move either to widening the streets or I'm glad that you brought it up, or, intersections.
Yeah.
I don't know if the council would approve more overtime to do this, or should we just do one step at a time, like do the downtown snow removal, move on to the parking lots, and then move on to the intersections? Just on our regular scheduling.
In your policy of your zoning and when you're plowing, I mean, it's come to my attention, and I've seen it. Trucks are driving without the blades down. If they're getting from the North Hudson garage to go to their zone, wouldn't it behoove us to put that blade down while you're going up there?
I would
And
think.
then I think we need to kind of just maybe reiterate that.
Sure.
because then you're already helping the guy who's got that zone. You got one swap through there.
Yeah. Something else that I'd like to, I'll bring it up now, but probably next fall when we do our budget, is 2 years ago we visited having contracting out of the parking lots. I goofed up on when we bid it out. We did it by the monthly contract that year, I think, and then we did it by 2 inches or more. I think that year we had one snowfall. It was only 1 3/4 inches, and they plowed it once. But this last snowfall, we used 2 front end loaders, which we used for 72 cul-de-sacs and some other streets. This last snowfall, Kevin said he was downtown in the parking lots for over 3.5 hours, and Mike was about the same. So that's 6 to 7 hours that we got our two main cul-de-sac pieces of equipment downtown. Mm-hmm. So I would like to maybe restructure my request for next time and maybe bid it out hourly or some way that it would be more fair and to us, and have contract the parking lots out. That would free up those front end loaders to get in the cul-de-sacs sooner.
I'm okay with that, but I would just caution you that we had issues with it last time, and no one does it better than you guys, as far as the public's concerned.
There's nothing wrong with a monthly contract. I mean, it's a very, because you would have won this year. Mm-hmm. But I can, and I don't know if at the city level if we even have this ability. The most fair way to do it is to go 3 years, because it's going to even out. And both sides, I mean, in the end, it's going to be fair for both sides.
It just, yeah.
But
it's beneficial to us.
You might pay
that long.
You might, I mean, this snow season was a prime example. We would have paid November, and there was no events. Would have got our money's worth in December, though. And now January, and now February. It's a matter of time.
And we tried it. I mean, it was the first year that we tried it, and I think there was maybe a reluctance to go beyond just a year, just to see how it played out.
And maybe there's other things, but that's something. But when we're doing budget next year, let's just talk about other ways, possibly. But it just seems like the community is expecting a different level of service than what we're giving them at times. I mean, I get a lot of calls. Why are we always last? Why are our cul-de-sacs not opened up? But
it's not just at a municipal level, at a commercial level. Snow expectations are so different than they were even 5 years ago.
Yeah,
it seems that way. They've
Absolutely.
The attitudes have changed. They expect more, and I get so many calls from people in alleys, and that's kind of, alleys and cul-de-sacs are on the lower priority. I mean, it's not that we don't want to get them, but we have our main thoroughfares and emergency routes. And
did you hire the part-time maintenance guy?
Yep.
Is he
I offered him the job, and he's going to do his paperwork tomorrow.
So
That'll help.
okay, so you guys talk about that next
But
fall.
anyway, that's another thing, maybe next fall.
Okay. Anything else?
Emergency generator was up and running. It developed a gas leak, so they will be working on that tomorrow. They have, I don't know if you've seen the heater, they got the ground soft so they can dig it up. It's where the plastic pipe is that goes from the meter, where the metal and the plastic connect. There must be a special kind of fitting there, so that's their first place they're going to look. So
Okay.
that should be fixed tomorrow. So.
Okay, Karen?
Yep, I want to talk about the construction on Buckeye Street from 2nd Street down to 1st to the river. They're doing work on the storm sewer. When they went in to start, they found 4 to 8 inches of ice on the bottom of the structure, so right now they're heating it up. Their original plan was to pour concrete on the new floor at the end of this week, and they're still hoping to meet that if they can get all the ice out of the structure.
Okay. Any concern? I mean, it doesn't sound like ideal conditions to be doing this, and is there any concern that with the ice and Even if the ice is gone, that they'll be,
No, it is good condition because
because it's not, water.
not full of water. We don't have spring melt, so we're trying to get it done before that.
Okay.
They have heaters down there, so we'll have it's warm, so it'll be good for pouring the concrete.
Okay.
Actually, the worker came out of there today, and he was all sweaty from being down there, so. So it is going well, and we got a good contractor out there.
Okay. Anything else?
So like on our street projects, we should get together soon and get,
Yeah, we got to get that
The-
snow off the street so we can do our preliminary field investigation.
Or is that the maintenance?
No, that's the 2014 street improvement project,
Mill and
which would be the mill and overlay.
Okay.
what about Buckeye Street reconstruction?
That will be on,
That's gonna be, but bid out as the total project?
yes, the 2014 street project, and it will be a total reconstruction with the new water main going in there too. So that will be part of that.
2 meetings ago, I think I asked about what they put on 94 on the bridge, and you answered to Kurt. It was my question. I would still like to know and have some kind of reading material on that,
Okay,
whatever they used,
Right.
product. Because we do have some old streets in here that are cement.
or concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I didn't attach information. I'll check
It was
again.
Yeah, I thought.
I'd have to look back.
Yeah, but I can resend it. That's no problem.
No, I got it right here.
And then the other thing, Karen, is that, that concrete seminar that I went to
At our office? Yeah.
last week, I was talking to Mark,
Right, he works with, at
concrete.
both.
Yep. We had a lot of issues with Highway 35 and Second Street, from Dairy Queen to the bridge is a connecting highway, which we're responsible, so from Vine to Cooley is, the concrete, but, we're having some major issues this year, and we're gonna have to, put some patching materials in there now, but it'd be nice if there was more of a permanent fix somehow. I don't know if it's
Wouldn't this polymer overlay, I mean, we're probably getting off into
possible.
a different.
possible. I do know that the city of River Falls was gonna, they have a same issue on their main street. They were gonna saw out the bad joints, and then they have to pin in with big rebar and then re-pour. But for some reason, I don't know if it was a cost or whatever, they backed out last year. So I'll talk with Reed.
They are doing it this year. It just went out to bid.
So that's something maybe I'll talk to Reed or Terry Kuzlik, and unless are you?
We're doing the plans and specs for River Falls, so we have the drawings for that project.
Can we put on the next agenda, the next meeting, that question along with Second Street and this polymer overlay?
I know this polymer overlay is a very expensive product and typically used on bridge decks, but I can check to see how it would be used on Second Street.
Either way you look at it, it's gonna be expensive down there. So.
Right. And there are some big, at the joints, there's some big openings that are developing.
Then the other thing is that we should probably look at, and whether it's just kind of a general estimate, Karen, is Randy brought it up, and it's been on my plate too. Is that
On
Sixth
Street.
here? We should just get a rough cost, and if it's such a large project, seeing that it's going to be the concrete removal and total reconstruct, that maybe we'll have to divide it up into thirds or something if it's overwhelmingly a big number, and I think it will be. But and then going off of that, there is going to be a meeting coming up for the Wisconsin Street. It's a public hearing, or just kind of a public informational meeting. I'm sorry, I forgot the date.
I did
March 6th.
Sixth. But we'll post
It's
it.
right on it's on the web page.
probably the 6th. The 10th there's a council meeting.
Nice.
Okay. Anything else?
One other. I'm sorry to keep
It's okay.
bringing. We did get contacted from the Wisconsin DNR. Hudson has a population large enough that we're going to be required to have MS4. It's stormwater regulations and requirements. It's a permit. Any stormwater that goes into the St. Croix River or Lake Malu. So it's going to be. I just had a webinar this afternoon, and then I have another one on Thursday to talk. It talks about the requirements, and it's we have to, test. We have to do public outreach. We have to document all kinds of things. So it's going to be another
Layer?
Big undertaking.
So that's going to be coming down the road.
When
probably
is that, Tom? I mean, when do we officially get
Yeah, what year?
in that category?
We're there, and they just notified us that we're going to have to get it. So that was just a notification that I got via an email. I haven't personally been contacted yet.
And if we don't,
I'm not going after them. I'm just waiting for them to come. But we knew it was coming, so
I know,
Been
but
talking about it.
oversight,
One more layer.
Okay. Dare I ask anything else?
that's it.
move to adjourn.
Second.
So just before we do that, let's look at March 25th. Is our next meeting? It's Tuesday.
5 or 5:30?
Can we do 5?
Yep, I'm sorry, I.
No, it's okay. No, is that all right?
Mhm.
Okay. So motion and second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.